go. Twisting, turning. That's a penalty, is it? No, he's still going. Oh, how about that? How about that?
Carried on into the penalty area. Here he is. And then Giroud. What a goal. Brilliantly worked. Fantastically finished.
Well, here's Ramsey. And Alexis Sanchez. Great footwork. 3-0. Liverpool blown away. A 3-goal, 8-minute Arsenal blast. For Alexis. Blocked by Newcastle defender. Still not clear. Wow, what a volley. Where others failed, Ozil has succeeded. Well done, Arteta. Plenty of it here. Yes! Arsenal have their breakthrough. Mikel Arteta. They deserve it. Oh, they're behind again. It's amazing. It's Aaron Ramsey. That's the response of Arsenal. Iwobi, nicely done. Brilliantly done. Bayer in, Walcott. Sensational Arsenal goal. Is that a handball? No. Nothing the play can do. Great, what a goal! Arsenal have made it 3-0. Jack Wilshere with an absolute thunderbolt.
Hello and welcome to the Clock End Talk, an Arsenal podcast. I am your host, Tez. You can get me at Guna Tez. You can get the show at The Clock End Talk on Twitter. We're also on Facebook. We're also on, what's the other one? Bloody TikTok now. TikTok. Yeah, that's the one. So we're everywhere. You can get us. You can have your act to us. And patrons, you guys can join our chat. $1 a month to support the show. Okay, end of season podcast. Here we are. Who would have thought we'd make it this far? But we are back again for the end of season. I've got the boys with me, Addy and Tony. How are you, Tony?
Yeah, I'm good. I would just like to remind all of the listeners, I mean, I think they probably know this by now, but just to keep it fresh in their memory, he's coming home.
Shut up. Addy, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. And just to echo what Tony said, it's coming home again.
Boys, we will be back for the Euros. We'll be doing a couple of pods during that. Possibly next week off, and then we'll do the week after with predictions of the Euros and go through the lineups, the groups, and things like that. Might even run a little comp or something throughout the Euros and whatnot in our socials as well. So we will still be here with you all. Jack couldn't join us today. He's off busy doing stuff. He said he may pop in later. Those who are regular listeners will know that we do our season predictions every, at the start of every year. We must have been a little bit late because we did it on the Fulham podcast. So
that was the first game of the season. So we done it after the first game of the season.
After the first game, yeah, okay, that's what made sense. I was looking for it everywhere and I couldn't find it, and but we got it, and I listened back to it this morning, and wow, we're actually quite entertaining, which is through me because I actually enjoyed listening to myself back, and I went, fuck, that's a good show. But where do we want to go? Because we also do the 3-2-1, and which gives us our player of the year on our 3-2-1. What we might actually do there, Jack couldn't get it over to me, so we might throw that on our socials on who our 3-2-1s were. So I'll do that next week or something when Jack gets it to me. I'll throw a little picture up and whatnot on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll do our 3-2-1s who got the Arsenal player of the year. Do we really need to talk about the last game or anything, Tony? I for me, it's a distant memory. So,
well, I mean, I feel like if we lost, everyone would be bringing it up. So just to go through it quickly, obviously 2-0 win against a decent Brighton side who had just beaten the champions the game before, or 2 games before. Pepe looked very dangerous again. He was clearly man of the match, got both goals. And just a good, solid all-round performance. I mean, we never looked like losing. Obviously, 10,000 fans were back, so it's good to hear a bit of atmosphere as well. But Yeah, I mean, when you could look, it's very easy to say Brighton were on the beach or whatever, and there's an argument to say they were, but when they beat the champions 3 days before, it kind of adds a little bit of weight to the performance. But it was always a catch-22 because, I mean, I'm speaking for myself. You want to win every game and you want to finish above Tottenham, but you really don't want Europa Conference League. So it was like, it was one of them. You're watching it and you're kind of like, I'm not really sure what I want here. And I was watching it with my mates, three other Arsenal fans, and we was all in the same boat. Like, obviously, we want us to win every game. I don't care who we're playing. But I really didn't want 8th. So, it is what it is.
We will do a 3-2-1. MAA Gunner just mentioned in the comments, and Jack did say he'll take notes on that too. So, Tony, while I've got you, mate, and we're talking on this game, give us your 3-2-1.
It's really annoying because at the time I remember, like, as I was watching it, thinking about it and having like quite clear selections, but it's not now I can't remember them. I mean, look, Pepe 3 is easy, he got both the goals.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got to be the easy one for me. Yep.
Yeah.
Addy, your agreement?
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I seem to remember, and this is going to get some laughs, I know it is. I seem to remember Odegaard not being absolute wank, so I'm going to give him 2. I felt like, barring West Ham, it was probably his best game for us. I know I definitely had him in. I know I had him in the 3-2-1 because I remember thinking, "Oh, here we go." And then I can't really remember who my 1 was, so I'm going to do my usual tactic of giving it to Smith Rowe.
Of course. Well, I went, Pepe Odegaard, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually wondering whether you would bring Odegaard up, and you did. So yeah,
but you got people listen enough to know that I don't matter if I rate a player or not, or I think they're best player in the world. If they're shit, I'll say they're shit, and if they played well, I'll say they played well. I still think Odegaard is a pile of shit, but he had a very good game, so I'm going to say he had a very good game.
What was Schwinn? I seen something in the chat. Schwinn was talking about Odegaard. Swallow your pride, Tony, or something like that.
No, he said, what was it? He said something, and I think he said, maybe there's a chance if we could get him back if the right manager or if the manager at Real Madrid might want him. And I said, I won't. They won't if he has eyes.
Yeah.
And he said, you're not having Odegaard at all.
Someone told me the other day he's worth about 100 mil. I went, what?
Apparently they want 50, apparently they want 50 for him, but they're on some very special form of crack.
Yeah, crazy.
It was always going to be that expensive. I was seeing reports. Oh yeah, he's going to go for 20, 30 mil. It was always a long-term investment. It was never going to go for cheap to Arsenal.
Granite gets my 1. I thought he was brilliant. As usual, solid game. Of course he did. MAA Gunner, Party Chambers, but he says Granite was immense. Have to agree. Addy, who was your 2 and 1?
So Pepe, Odegaard, and I'm gonna give a 1 to KT.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Really?
Okay. I don't think you. I don't think you did much, but anyway.
I don't think you did. Give it to Gabriel for finding his lost tooth. Either or, but yeah, I'll stick with KT.
KT, righto. I look in the 3-2-1s, and I haven't added them up. I haven't even seen it. So on the top of my head, I'm thinking Saka and KT are leading it on our 3-2-1s. But
they are like, without knowing the 3-2-1s, as you said, none of us kind of know them. That they are the 2 across the season. They just seem like the 1 and 2 in Player of the Year. And again, it's not my Smith Rowe bias, but I think had he played the whole year, he'd be in that conversation. Obviously, with him only playing since January, basically, he probably hasn't racked up enough points to get there in a 3-2-1. But for me, they would be across the season. I'd say Saka's definitely Player of the Year, and then KT and ESR's. I'd probably go KT just because he's played more of the season, but there's not too much in it. That's what my eyes
Pepe
tell me.
might be
Obviously,
there.
the 3-2-1 could be completely different.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I was thinking Pepe might be in that last spot.
Well, I think it hasn't been until the end of the season, like, and I'm not giving anything away here, but we were talking about the Fulham game, and Tony, it was quite actually funny. Listen back to it because Tony mentioned, and at the time, you're absolutely correct, Tony. Willian, it was Willian's spot to lose, I think, and Pepe.
I actually remember saying that.
Yeah.
He was in hold of the place. And well, I mean, I saw a thing the other day that Pepe started 2 of the first 14 league games. So as I said, if you're looking at from a 3-2-1 point of view, and then you think later on, it's not like he then started the other 24. So it's going to be very difficult. As I said, for the same reasons as Smith Rowe, it's going to be very difficult to be up there in a 3-2-1 when you weren't really playing.
Yeah. Because William, my memory's fucked at best of times, but he started off pretty well, did he? He must have the 1 or 2 good games before he went.
I think it was the Fulham, mate.
The Fulham game was pretty good, yeah.
And that was it for me. I can't remember any other game. But
I just think you got to remember we done that after the Fulham game where he'd got 3 assists, so you knew he was definitely going to start, or 2 assists and a half assist, and you know he's going to start the next game then. So as I said, that it was his shirt. Like when you get 3 assists, you're definitely going to start the next game. So then it's your shirt to lose. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. Little bit of news, boys. Matt Ryan, he's signed on to stay on next season. Not done yet.
No, it looks very likely, but it's not done.
Okay. And I seen another one.
As well.
Guendouzi, yeah, I think I shot me load on that. I seen it popping up everywhere, and I'm like, I can't see it being official, but it's coming through, not official, but pretty reputable reporters. So, yeah, but I'm like 13 mil, like, if that's true, I don't know how that sits with me, boys. Like, I know he's an outcast. I know Arteta obviously doesn't want him and all this. Like, 13 mil, he's probably thinking, look, I'm not going to take the risk. I don't know, did he have a great season where he was? I don't know, boys. I know we only paid, 8 million for him, but it's definitely a profit. But this is a player at one stage we were talking 20, 30, weren't we? So I don't know. What do you boys think on Guendouzi, if that is the true indication?
I mean, look, I was never a fan anyway, and you kind of have to, unfortunately, take sort of his football ability out of it because he's an arsehole, and he was an arsehole before he signed for us, which is why we got him as cheap as he did. And I guess we thought being at a bigger club would humble him, which it didn't. He was an arsehole at us, got warned twice, still didn't learn. He's gone on loan, fallen out with everyone there, has been an arsehole on social media ever since. And that affects your value, unfortunately. And look, we got him for a price that we probably shouldn't have done. And we're going to have to sell him for a price that you'd probably expect more. But that's his personality has done that. Also, I mean, it's one of them ones. He's only got a year left, but he hasn't because we've got an option on him. But I don't think anyone would want to exercise that option. So it's basically being sold as if he has a year left. To me, I just think get what you can. You get rid of the wages. I know they're not huge, but you get the wages off the books. You get a half decent fee, and you replace him with someone you actually want. Because I mean, it's clear it's not just us, and it's not an Arteta thing. He didn't fall out with Emery, but he didn't have too long to fall out with Emery. But as I said, before us twice, with us twice at Hertha, you just I don't know. You can't fix that problem.
Bad attitude, yeah. Bad attitude. Addy, you agree? Where are you at? Addy. No, he's dropped out. Gone. Can you hear me?
Can you
I
hear me
can.
now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking, fuck, maybe it's me. I was thinking, fuck, maybe it's me.
Sorry.
You're right. You're right.
No.
Where are you at, buddy?
Um,
13 mil, good for you or not?
No. That's poor, and then I think I also disagree with Tony. I think it's an Arteta thing. I think again Arteta doesn't know how to manage players. If he goes, cool, yes, he's a prick. Yes, he is. I totally agree with that. But there have been pricks in football. I don't think he's as bad as Ravel Morrison. Who truly is an outcast. I don't think Guendouzi's on that level. I think his mentality is just childish. And I still think he's a good player, and I do think he's gonna prove to be a very good player in the coming years. I think on footballing ability alone, he is much better than some of the midfielders that played last season in that central midfield, and I think he would potentially start or would be amongst starters within the midfield that we had last season. But yeah, I just think that if Arsenal was smart, they would exercise that 1 year as much as they may not want to get a value of 13 million isn't
You
good
can't
enough.
exercise. You can't exercise an option until it gets there.
Oh, yeah, until it gets there. But I
Yeah,
suppose until
so-
he gets into the final year, because that's
No.
what United do. Oh, okay.
No, I mean you can offer them obviously if the player agrees it. So like even Cavani, United had the option, but they left it up to him because that's just the way things tend to work with options. But you can offer them at any time. So Arsenal could now offer Guendouzi a 10-year contract. Obviously, it's not going to happen. But in terms of the legally enforced trigger option, they become valid. It's a 1-year extension option. So
yeah, 1 year, yeah.
So it's they're usually done in the last sort of month or so.
Is it last? Okay.
Like look at Luiz last year. Like we all knew he was staying, but it wasn't done until the point where people are going, "Oh, is he off?" It was done late. That's just how options are.
Okay.
But just a couple of comments. Yeah,
that's it with me.
Yeah,
that's it.
Okay. Just a couple of comments. MWA Gunners talking on party. Learned how to shoot, but still couldn't score. Pepe started Leeds and Man City only until Everton in December. Okay. I've got nothing. I can't remember what I did fucking yesterday.
I know it was 2 of 14, so if it was them two, then yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Sam says, I completely agree with Saka and Smith Rowe and KT, but it's odd that the best aspect of us was defensively, and KT is the only defender we consider. I know that's due to structure, but anyway, I totally
to
agree
be
with
fair,
that.
there is a fair point in that.
Luiz.
I think he's trash, but Gabriel got the player of the month 3 months. So when you're looking at the player of the season, if someone's got the player of the month the majority of the months, he probably should be in the conversation. In theory, I mean, for me that theory is bullshit because I think the guy's not very good. But you know where people could be. I don't understand if people said that.
After the other week's show, I'm not came to bring up player of the season or manager of the month. Roberto says, howdy chaps. How are you, Roberto? Sam says he likes Guendouzi. Just a shame he's a bit of an idiot. And Roberta says, would we have been better with Guendouzi? It's something we'll never know, I guess. Look where we finished on the ladder. Like, did we underachieve this season? Absolutely. But actually, funny enough, I was going through, and as I said, I listened to the back on the podcast on the Fulham, and you boys are going to be a little surprised, actually. So anyway, any other Arsenal news, or we want to get on to these reminiscing our predictions?
I mean, obviously, there's a big court case tomorrow, which may change some things with Arsenal. So Nana finds out how long his ban is, and by all accounts, it looks like we'll be going in pretty heavy for him, depending on the results of that. So it's weird because as you said, it looks like Matt Ryan's going to be signed all the the press seem to think it's essentially done.
Yeah.
All the press are going very heavy on Onana, but there's been no hint of Leno out yet. Look, I'd be delighted with them two in and Leno out. Obviously,
Did
I don't know
I
what
see an
other
interview or some comments where somebody quoted that Leno wanted to go back home? He was missing home or something like that.
I've not seen that. There was loads of reports a few months ago saying he wanted out,
Yeah,
and then he came out and
he
said
came out. Yeah,
basically he didn't.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
But I mean, I don't know. He's got 2 years left. I don't know if we're going to offer him an extension or anything. But
if that's
for
we
me,
need to sell him then.
well, that's what for me is, especially if you're getting them two in, is definitely the time to sell. And I mean, even if Onana's ban goes to say the end of September, I would be happy with Ryan in for a month, like 4 games, because at the start the season's quite spread because you have that international break in after 3 games usually anyway. So if it was a case of Onana's not back till after that international break and you use Ryan for 3 games, I would be comfortable with that and getting a fee for Leno.
The other one was Bellerin. I read reports that I don't know if it was wanted out or he was looking to be sold, and that was coming from who was that? Watts. Charles Watts.
So basically,
Robert
he's
Gies.
reporting that it's kind of agreed that we'll let him go, but Betis, who have been the main team talking to him, I didn't know he was a Betis fan. I just assumed it was Barcelona. But apparently
they only want him on loan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're really interested, but they've only been talking about a loan. So fuck knows what happens there. I mean, it's definitely an area we need to improve massively.
Yeah. It just didn't work out for him since he's come back from injury, has it? And I know, Tony, you haven't been a big fan of him at all, but a few years back, I thought he was going to be somewhat of a player that, at times Barcelona looked like they were spewing they got rid of him because he may have, matured to be that player. But it's just the injuries, I think. It just hasn't been that same player. He's lost a lot of speed and it's really hindered his career, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, 2014, he was 15. He looked like he was in the conversation for one of the best in the world, and now he's not even the best in his own house.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, boys, let's get into what we predicted back in September. So I'll start from the bottom and work our way up. The Premier League underperformer or underperforming team. Tony said Leicester City. You thought they were going to finish 8th or 9th. I'll read Jack's because even though he's not here, it's still interesting to see what he says. Jack said Burnley. He thought they were going to go down.
Can I'm claiming mine as a win because they missed they bottled top 4 again.
No.
No. That's why I wrote 8th or 9th, because on that show I actually said what's underperforming with them. And you rattled on a big long explanation about they were playing so many games and this and that. Now.
Even now, as you just said, I don't remember my selections, and as you just said, I said Leicester. I was like, well, yeah, they had to play a lot of games, so I was like, I don't know why I would have said it.
Addy said Spurs, as he reckoned Mourinho doesn't suit their system there.
To be fair, they have underperformed. From my,
I think they have.
Yeah.
I take that as a win for you.
I do, but I just want to point out, I put my neck on the line saying Leicester would finish here or here. Addy just said they're going to underperform, so he could have said, 5th, they didn't get Champions League, that's underperforming. Like,
it's quite funny though, because you actually bring him up on this point later in the show, and you actually tell him that he's been playing it very safe. Addy played it safe with Leicester City and a couple of his other picks. I took mine. I don't know what I was on, but I was probably reading into a lot of rumours and a few of their signings. I said Leeds United because I said realistically they should
underperformers. Or
Yeah, because I said at the time, realistically, the Leeds fans had them finishing in the top 4 or top 6, and I said realistic 7th or 8th. So I don't know if that's a tick for me or not.
No, it's not. Stop trying to. No, there's no way Leeds are underperformers. Stop trying to give yourself credit. I'm not having that.
Rick was on live at the time. He wrote in the comments, and I'll read it out, that he said West Ham were going to underperform. So Rick,
That's definitely not a win.
that's not a win for you, buddy. The Premier League transfer winners at the time. Tony said Chelsea were the Premier League winners, but said Werner and Havertz will struggle. Tony said, I'm going to safe option. Tony said, I'm going to safe option, but he also said Everton have signed very smartly with Allen.
I will say I'll give Tony two points there. Right. The fact that he said it, Werner and Havertz. He gets.
Yes.
I had the crystal ball out for that one.
Absolutely. I think I said exactly the opposite, but anyway. Jack said Arsenal.
Jack was on crack.
Addy also said Chelsea as well. He agreed with Tony, but he did say Werner would perform, where he has a little bit.
Hold on. All I will say, Werner is their top goal scorer.
I think you said something.
Oh wait, maybe you're wrong.
Yeah, that's it. with 6 goals, so technically.
No, Jorginho got 7 in the league. All penalties.
Man.
Oh yeah. Hey, but hang on a minute. Hang on. I'm going to go back here on Havertz. Are we saying Havertz struggled though? I think he did under Lampard, but did he with a new manager?
Yes.
To be fair, I think you've seen improvements, but if you're looking, you can't. Again, similar with my Arsenal argument, you can't just look at half the season. You have to look at
not even half. Like he did have good games, but they paid 70 million and he scored like 4 goals.
4 goals, yeah. Cool, fair play. One of the goals was the Champions League winning goal, which I'll take any day. But let's look at the season as a whole. He I think they didn't even play him for a couple games because he just wasn't effective.
Okay, I said Manchester United with the signing of Van der Beek. Addy also made a comment that said Addy wanted Arsenal to sign him as a replacement for Ramsey.
Addy still says that. Addy said that last week.
Addy said he couldn't work out why Manchester United signed him because he would not suit their system.
Look at that. See, I get a tick for that. I get a point for that.
I'm thinking I get a tick for that because it's not him as a player, it's the system.
No, you don't. Stop. You can't say they've won the transfer window because they've signed him and then he plays 1 game and you go, yeah, I got that right.
It's hard to get points, isn't it?
For me, with Van der Beek, I see him as when Man United signed Mkhitaryan. They just never were going to suit each other, and give it another year, Man United will ship him off, similar to Mkhitaryan or Memphis Depay. Like they just don't suit that style of football that they want to play.
You reckon they'll try and offload him this season or this summer?
If they get a good,
depends on the Euros.
That's it. If he does win the Euros, they can get big money for him, 100%.
Yeah, because he'd be costing them a few bucks, wouldn't he?
I think that 40 odd million?
35, I think.
35.
Even the wages, though, like he'd demand.
Oh yeah, he's not going to be.
Wages. Yeah. Young player of the year, Tony said Alexander Trent. As I'm playing it safe, because
I think we all went for him the year before and he won it. So
yeah, when doesn't he win it? I think Tony said. Jack said Foden.
Oh, he's spot. Well, and for me, Foden. Yeah,
Foden. Addy. Addy said Saliba.
Well, wait. To be like, Addy, like that's a loss, but he is up for the French
Yeah, he is.
like,
Yes, he
team
is.
of the year or whatever.
Team of the year.
But you
yeah.
still know because we were talking about the Premier League.
I said Van der Beek. So I was way off as
You were
well.
willing to die on that field.
AFC Breakthrough Player of the Year. Tony said Smith Rowe.
Okay.
I think as well. Just
Nearly
I think
half
we
a team.
banned Saka. We banned Saka from it. I think because he'd already broke
Yeah,
through.
we did have a conversation about that. I think we we're talking about what the age has to be for the young player of the year, and I think you said 24 was the rules.
No, so that's the FA, the PFA's thing. But I think on that, because it's the breakthrough and not the young, it couldn't be. I think we said it couldn't be Saka because he'd played like 50 games or whatever already.
Yep. Okay. Jack and Addy, give yourself an uppercut, boys, because you both said Saliba.
Oh, man. I hate Arteta, man.
I said Gabriel, and Tony made a comment. Tez has the best choice with him, as Smith Rowe probably won't get his chance to play
Until December.
You know the funny thing is, yeah, because as you said earlier, Gabriel, first half of the season, was technically one of our best defenders. So,
well, this is what I'm thinking. I get almost a tick for that.
Yeah, I think you do,
because like I know Tony doesn't rate
even
it,
if it's
you
half
have a
a
look.
tick.
Yeah, because you have a look at majority Arsenal fans. He'd be first on their team sheet, not Tony's.
I mean, look, as long as I get my point for Smith Rowe, I don't care what you guys judge. But I'm getting my point for Smith Rowe. No one was singing that tune.
No, you weren't. And he actually did say Smith Rowe probably wouldn't get his chance. So you must have been thinking he was going back on loan again, maybe.
No, I don't know. I just everyone. I've rated him for so long. I remember I saw him play about 4 years ago, and I was like, do you know? Sometimes I don't know. Like you've probably seen it. You've seen someone, and you see him play once, and you're like, "Fuck, they're ready now," and they're not.
Yeah.
You just see that performance, and you think, "Fucking, why aren't they playing for the first team?" And I saw that like 4 years ago, and obviously, of course, he wasn't ready, but just on like 1 or 2 performances, she's like, "Get him in the team." So I knew it had to come. I knew the ability was there. I just didn't know when it would come.
I had that same feeling with Nelson, but Nelson just hasn't pushed on.
Yeah, I don't know. Nelson, he shot himself in the foot by not going on loan, I think.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. Sam did say we're talking about Havertz, and this is maybe why I get a point here, because as bad as Havertz was or has been, doesn't winning the goal in the Champions League final forgive all your bad games?
I actually had this conversation with my mates the other day, and I was saying that they didn't have a bad season now. Like Werner wasn't shit, even though he was, because in 10 years all people are going to remember is he's won the title. But in reality, they didn't have a good year. Like, so there's no way you're claiming that either of them have had a good year.
Yeah, no, did you boys see the interview after Champions League? It was run around on Opta Sports, so I don't know if you boys got it over
where he
there.
said, "Who cares? I won the fucking Champions League."
Yeah.
What a stupid question by the bloke asking the question.
Yeah, you know,
What
reporters.
did you think you were going to get?
Oh, fair play to him. He answered it how he dismissed it how it should be dismissed. But fair play to him.
Yeah. Player of the year. Tony, Tez, and Addy all said De Bruyne as the safe option.
Yeah.
The player of the year for the league. Jack said Salah.
Is KDB? I know the list came out today. Is KDB in it?
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Diaz is going to win it, and Diaz wasn't in the league at the time, so none of us could have got that. I assume Salah's in the list as well. So
yeah, Salah, Harry Kane,
Jack almost gets a tick for that.
No.
Well, I guess we're all in the same boat. We either all do or none of us do.
Yeah. Golden Boot. Tony, Tez, and Addy all say Aubameyang. But like going off last season, like no one could predict he was going to be this bad.
But this is why I like doing this, because stuff you say at the time isn't stupid. Like we say this, like genuinely what we're thinking, and then you look back in a year's time and you think, "What a prick I am."
Jack didn't give his golden boot for some reason. I don't know if he was in agreement with us at the time on Aubameyang, but he didn't mention it. First sacking, Tony and Jack. They say Moyes will be the first sacking.
Oh, wow.
The reason behind the reason behind it was at the time the owners and the fans were in a bit of a debate, I guess, on where the club's going, and you were concerned on Moyes. You said he probably will take the fans' side, which will then put him in the firing line of the board. So.
Well, they still hate the owner and the fans still hate each other, and a lot of people put their success this season down to the fans not being there. I'm not saying that before any West Ham fan tries to kill me, but a lot of people are. But yeah, I mean, obviously it was a terrible. It's the best ever season, so it's a terrible shout.
Yeah. I was trying to make a little excuse for you at the time, but at the time you're probably right. Like I didn't think Moyes was going to have that good a season, but anyway. Addy,
and they but when we done that podcast, they just lost 3-0 to Newcastle as well.
Yeah. Addy was smoking something this day because he said Steve Bruce. He was expecting a new owner, though.
But again, it's another one where the fans hate the club, basically. And
boy, when was the takeover? When was the takeover news?
That was around that time.
For about my whole life, I think.
Well, there was the Saudi deal.
The Saudi one, yeah.
Yeah, you said that's gone, and there was another one with a girl. I can't remember.
No, she was fronting. She was fronting the Saudi deal. Amanda Stabley.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what I was it. I was thinking that. Oh yeah, because they said that if they come in, I think they wanted to get Rafa back or something like that. But they were definitely going to sack Steve Bruce.
And look, and that was based on you were like, yeah, new owners come in, they'll want to spend money, they'll get another big manager in and try and propel the club up. But that never happened. So if it did happen, maybe you would have been on the money. I said Scott Parker at Fulham. I said the reason is because they'll get relegated and they will show him the door pretty early.
Yeah, but so they did get relegated, obviously, and then they'll sack him. But I don't.
I didn't sack him.
So obviously, we're all wrong. I don't actually know who got sacked first.
Slaven Bilic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, West Brom.
Remember they got
West Brom.
And I think after they beat Man City.
They drew with them.
Drew Man City.
Drew 1-0 away. Yeah, that wasn't until like November, December, so that's quite late for a first.
Because to be fair, Sheffield United manager should have went, but then they backed him because they went on a crazy losing streak.
Yeah,
and they lost like 10 games or something like that. Yeah.
And actually, it's quite funny when we talk relegation. I'll give it away now. Not one of us said Sheffield United.
Off the back of the season they'd had before.
Yeah.
Yeah, not one of us said it. So, that's
going to be that bad.
How quick teams turn around, I guess. League Cup winners. Tony and Jack both said the Spurs because they reckon Mourinho is that selfish that he goes for any trophy, and that's the lowest picking fruit, and that's the one you'll win.
To be fair, I was going to say, to be fair.
He got to the final and then got sacked.
So you almost
they won it.
Get half a point on that.
Well, the only reason I'm going to fight this corner is because I remember Addy's answer.
Addy did say City because it was the
their trophy
option and it's their trophy. And at this point, Tony said that'd be fucking right. You playing it safe. I said Manchester United, so I was well off. FA Cup winner, Tony said Manchester United. Addy, Jack and Tez all said Arsenal because it's our trophy.
I technically got further because United went further in rounds and lost to the eventual winner.
Wait, who won the FA Cup? Chelsea.
Leicester.
That was it.
Leicester.
Oh, Leicester. Sorry.
Yeah,
Chelsea
yeah.
got to the final. Sorry.
Yeah. I was having
United
a,
lost to Leicester at the King Power.
my young bloke, he goes for Chelsea, and I had to congratulate him on Chelsea winning the Champions League. But it was interesting because they, they won the Champions League, which is, a successful season for them. But if they had won the FA Cup and the Champions League, that's a pretty good accomplishment. Like, you're giving most of them players a tick, aren't you?
New
I don't
manager
know.
bounce, mate.
But I was actually having this conversation the other day. If you've won the Champions League, does winning the FA Cup add anything to your season?
Yes.
Like, look,
Yeah, I think it does.
Winning the FA Cup is huge, but I just think it's going to be dwarfed by
The Champions League.
I agree. But then I think it still means something because at least you've won something domestically. So at least you're still challenged. It was just like, for example, when Liverpool won the Champions League and finished, they finished out of the top four, isn't it?
when you're talking like 2006 or whatever.
2006, yeah. And I think they finished out the top four. It was like, look, okay, cool, you won in Europe, but you couldn't even finish top four in your own league. Like, it was like, it didn't really mean that much.
Yeah. A couple of teams have done that, haven't they?
Chelsea, whatever you do.
Was Liverpool? They were in a final, weren't they? And
so they won one. They won the first one against AC Milan, and then lost the second one against AC Milan.
later.
Yeah. The year they won the league, where'd they come in the Champions League?
They lost. Atletico Madrid beat them.
Yeah, Adrian Tack.
Adrian, yeah. Mate, I still remember that Robertson interview. Wait until they come back to Anfield. Okay.
That was the game that caused COVID.
Yes, actually.
Okay, so FA Cup winner, Addy, Jay and Tej, they say Arsenal. Europa League Cup final. We went winners and we also tried to pick a final as well. Tony said Arsenal v Napoli. Arsenal win it. Addy. Addy said Arsenal v Barcelona and Barcelona win it. You reckon they were going to have that bad a season, Barcelona, that they would bow out in the Champions League in the group stages and obviously, in the Europa League, and that was your thinking behind that?
You know what it was, because I thought Messi was definitely going to City.
City, you did mention that too, yeah.
Yeah,
you thought Messi was out the door. So, Jack said, fucking Jack. Jack said Tottenham v Villarreal, and Villarreal win it with Emery because Emery knows how to win that trophy.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck, you kidding, aren't you?
Wow.
I said Tottenham v Milan, and Tottenham win the trophy. So, I suppose if anyone, Jack gets it, he gets the tick.
Yeah.
He got the winner.
Got the winner. Champions League. Tony says Juventus versus Bayern Munich.
But I mean, I'll never bet against Cristiano Ronaldo. So
that was the reason you said if
I know.
If Ronaldo plays anywhere, I'm taking Ronaldo. So, Jack said Juventus v Liverpool. At the time, I laughed with you about you and Tony because Jack said Juventus, Pirlo to shock everyone. I said, Tez said Pirlo will only shock Juventus fans. I'm calling it the worst appointment ever, and he'll be sacked at the end of the season.
Yep. You get a point for that.
All right, but however, after saying that big statement, I then said it'll be Juventus-Barcelona final. Then I changed it to Real Madrid v Bayern Munich. And Tony said, you blokes are fucking joking, because then Addy couldn't decide. So Addy went City v Bayer v Real Madrid v Juventus and couldn't decide whether it was who it was. So he picked 4 teams.
Well, at least I got one.
Pick every team in the tournament, you're going to get one of them, right?
Well, look, I said City first, though. I did say City first. You get half a point.
Fucking classic. Relegation. Tony. Fulham.
Tick.
West Brom.
Yep.
And he
And Brighton.
tossed and turned about this one for a long time. And he laughed at the defenders and said, how can... He couldn't see him doing any good this season. And that was Villa.
Really?
Wow.
Are you sure I didn't say Brighton? Because I'd pick them to go down I just don't like them. So I picked them to go down every year.
No, you said Villa. I listened back to it twice because you were rattling off players as well. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then you and Jack had a bit of a discussion or a debate over it. So
As if I went against the team with Jack Grealish in it. What the fuck was I thinking? That's my favourite player.
don't know. You were, yeah.
I mean, they did only survive on the last day of the season before, so I guess that's where I was coming from. But
Maybe that's where it was. Where did they finish?
Villa finished 11th.
Oh, 11th. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're talking about the defenders. You're talking about Angles, actually. You're saying Angles. Like,
I don't think he's played.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
That's why he didn't go down.
Yeah, you're pointing a lot about him. You're bringing him out a lot. So you're like, no one's heard of these fucking defenders. Not exactly like that, but yeah. Jack said West Ham, West Brom, Fulham.
2 out of 3.
So
I'm pointing out my 2 out of 3 was better because Villa came lower than West Ham.
Addy said West Brom, Fulham, and Crystal Palace.
Yeah. Okay, cool. See, my 3 is better now.
I said
Let's just put everyone on
as
the
well. I said Crystal Palace as well, and we actually thought Zaha was going at that time, though, Addy.
Okay.
So at the time we were doing it, we thought Zaha was getting a transfer
Who
out.
was he linked to?
I didn't think he was. I thought last summer there was nothing.
Can't remember. Yeah, don't know. Was he linked to us?
No, not last summer.
No,
It was the year before.
wasn't it? Yeah. I also said Fulham and Brighton.
Oh, you went Brighton.
Yeah, I went Brighton. Top 6. Tony. City to win it. Liverpool
Yes.
to come second.
They
Chelsea
came
to
first.
come third.
They came 4th.
Man United to come 4th.
I'm second.
Arsenal
Yeah,
5th. And Everton 6th.
They're top. Well, the
Top
top
4 was
4
right.
was jig. Yeah, but just in wrong places. Yeah.
Just wrong places, yeah. Jack said City to win it. Arsenal to come second. Liverpool third. Everton to come 4th. And Chelsea, Everton, Man United to come 5th. Chelsea to come 6th. We all laughed at Jack at the time because Everton to come 4th was very jokeable. Addy, we all laughed at Addy as well. City to
They
win
had
it.
Leeds.
Yeah. Liverpool second, Chelsea third, Arsenal 4th, Man United 5th, and Leeds United 6th. I had Chelsea to win it, City to come second, Liverpool 3rd, Man United 4th, Arsenal 5th, Everton 6th.
So me and Tez were the only ones that got the top 4.
No, I didn't. Oh, yeah, the top 4, yeah.
But then our 5th and 6th were a joke.
5th and 6th were actually. We must have had a lot of tickets on Everton at the time. Because new manager, a couple of good signings, and
Who did they? They beat Tottenham first day of the season, didn't they?
Yeah.
yeah. So we must have thought they were gonna. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
And Alan was sensational that day.
Yeah, we did talk him up, but where did they finish? 10th.
Yeah.
That's a massive underachievement, isn't it?
Well, the manager's gone.
Manager, dropped off.
Oh, he's gone now, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed that. Okay. Real Madrid?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I wonder where Conte is going. That's the question.
PSG.
Yeah. Oh,
because they're saying Richard.
Poch will go back to Tottenham, and PSG. Conte will go PSG.
Stupid. If he goes back to Tottenham, he's stupid.
Who goes? Right. Oh, Allegri's at Juventus now, isn't he?
Yeah. Stupid
Massive
as well.
coach, massive fucking manager.
I mean, I'm out here giving the predictions, and everyone's listened to how shit my predictions were last year. So when I say, Conte will go PSG and Pochettino will go Tottenham, don't actually listen to me.
Yeah.
Well, that's all our predictions, boys. That's done. That's what we did. Yeah. Couple of ticks, I guess. Between us all, we probably got it, most of them right.
It's not as bad as I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably us, boys. That's about all we're going to do. Unless you got anything else.
Just for anyone listening, when we do this next season, join in because it's fun realizing how stupid you are. Then a year later you can learn how much shit you spoke.
It is.
It's good. Make a fool of myself every year.
It's so funny. Like this season, though, has been like Arsenal have massively underachieved, I think. But it's been a season where it's just been crazy. Like West Ham, Leicester City, like they've just found themselves as, I don't know, competing now, and I don't understand it. It's bizarre. I don't know what next season brings, but
yeah, I think West Ham, for me, even before the season starts, I think West Ham will struggle with Europa and the league. I don't think they will have enough investment
and the fans back.
And the fans back as well. Yeah, I think that that's going to be.
Yeah, they're pretty savage, their fans, aren't they? Like with the owners. Yeah.
Leicester, not too sure. So obviously, looking at the season where Leicester went into the Champions League after winning the league, I think they've ended 8th. If I'm not correct.
Yeah, but then they had Europa League last year, so this year will be a continuation for them. It's not new.
They did have.
And they're making their squad bigger. It doesn't look like there's. At the moment, it looks like there's no one really going out or no one major. And then
they're signing Samari as well.
Samari, I think it looks Bertrand, and it looks quite likely that Edouard will go there. So they're adding to their squad. I mean, look, for me, I think Vardy's legs are going, but at least they're adding to the squad.
Yeah. Okay. So then, that's an interesting one. Then I heard Stevie G might be heading down to Everton.
I think there's less than 0 chance of that.
I heard that was his boyhood club.
Was it? I know it was Carragher's. I didn't think it was Gerrard's.
Yeah, no, I'm not too sure. I think people were just trying to stir out some of the Liverpool.
Who does Everton get now? You'd think Everton would want, like Ancelotti, like he was a big get for them. So they'd be looking at now. The only one I was thinking is the Nuno, the Wolves manager.
I think so. Sky Sports, who are about the most unreliable people on earth, reckon that he's basically done to Palace.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't understand that.
Wow, that's weird.
I saw that. I
get it from the Palace point of view because he goes back free and hard to beat, which is pretty much what Palace are. So I get it from their point. I don't know why he would do it.
He would do it, yeah.
He's better than that, though, isn't he? Like, really? Like, he is an Everton. I'm not going to say style manager, but as reputation, like Everton would put him up to that next position.
Yes,
and if
that'll be a step up.
Yeah, and if he goes well at Everton, well, then he's looking at it. I don't know, a Liverpool, Barcelona, or a big job like that, isn't he?
I wouldn't choose him to replace Ancelotti though, just because styles are too different. I think Eddie Howe's with a real shout.
You know what? I was going to say that because I was going to say that he was going to go to Celtic, but then that broke down.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him pick the backroom stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, bloody the Aussie Ange is looking at heading over there. I think did they announce that yet?
Who?
He's an Australian coach. He was our Socceroos coach.
There's Australian coaches.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone needs a bus driver. I think they're okay.
No, he's coaching in the J League for the Marinos. Yeah, well, I think that's the in the J League, and he got them. He won the J League last year with them, or the year before it was. No, last year I think it was. He won it with them, and yeah, he's very good. He was the ex-Socceroos manager, and now he's Celtic. I'm hearing his favourites. So.
I think Roberto Martinez might make a move somewhere.
Depends how the Euros go. Yeah, maybe he wants to get back into, but it's not. I don't think Everton would take him back.
Are you boys? I know, and I know Tony's not, but are you thinking, Addy, like you're seeing all these managers like go around? I just watched Tuchel win the Champions League with Chelsea, and I'm looking at Arsenal. I'm scratching my head at Arteta, and I'm thinking,
oh my! Honestly, I'll tell you now. Yeah,
I'm worried a little bit.
Let me tell you now. Yeah, I was saying when Conte once they announced Conte was gone, I was saying Arsenal, for the love of God, if you could just come to your senses and just take this man.
Nah, I disagree with you on that. I disagree.
Now.
No, he's a great manager, but he doesn't want to stay long.
Oh, okay, look. This is the thing, yeah. I agree with that. No, Bodo, we can't truly say that because he stayed long at Juventus.
Oh yeah, but there he's he loves. Let's face it, he does love them.
Yeah, and the only reason he left Inter was because of their financial situation that they have to sell players.
Yeah.
So they
then he got sacked at Chelsea, didn't he, with the transfer?
Yeah, but then but in that one, like obviously he flopped with how he treated Diego Costa, and then just went tits up from there. But for me, I would have gone all out for him and said, "Yep, Conte, bam." And then obviously I was hearing Real Madrid. I was thinking, "Okay, cool," but then that's not happening. So for me now, 100%. You go for Conte, you've been Arteta, or you even say to Arteta, cool, go as deputy head coach or assistant, deputy assistant, and then learn your trade under a real manager, and then you can come back in like 5 years' time. After
Conte, look, I agree with everything you said. I don't know if he would come to us with the transfer budget. Like, he wants to come in and spend money. He wanted at Chelsea. There was disagreements there on the transfer budget. I don't know what goes on in the background at Arsenal. Nobody really does. It just doesn't seem like it's all working well. Arteta and Edu seem like they're doing a lot, and everyone else just type of stands around with their bum up their ass, like with their fucking finger up their ass. So
I was going to say their bum up their ass.
their finger up their ass, and I don't know what. I just don't get that. If Conte or even a big manager would want to go to Arsenal.
Apparently, so like the Tottenham people reckon that Conte wanted to go there, he wanted to come back to England, but they chose Poch over him. That's what they reckon. But I don't know how true that is.
When I heard the...
Why would Poch go back there, though? Seriously.
Man, I honestly...
Because there's no pressure there.
If Poch goes to leaves PSG, the guy is like literally...
I reckon he's gone backwards. The only reason he goes back there, and the only reason why they want him back, is to try and keep Harry Kane there, I think.
Did you know what? Me and Jack spoke about this earlier when he rang me. And there's a lot of people think that Kane was a big part of him getting sacked. Because Pochettino was very stubborn. He wouldn't change his ways, and the squad could see they weren't going to win anything, but Pochettino wasn't changing anything, and because it was player power that essentially got him sacked. And there's a lot of people that think Kane was a big part of that. It's known that Alderweireld was a big part of it, which is another problem Tottenham will have because they signed him on a new deal when he basically refused to sign. Then Poch went, he signed a new deal, and now Poch potentially coming back and he's stuck on very high wages. They won't get a fee for him, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, there's a lot of people that think Kane was part of the group or part of the reason that Poch went. So, again, what Tez just said, a lot of people are going, they're only doing it to try and keep Harry Kane happy. But if that's true, that Kane was part of the reason, I don't know if that would keep him happy.
I don't know. Well, his son heading off?
I doubt it. I think he signed a new deal, or he's in the verge of signing a new deal.
Okay.
To be fair, if Kane leaves, even though they'll get good money for Kane, then if I was Son, I would say, why I wouldn't stay. I wouldn't want to be that big player at Tottenham.
Depends how they spend the money. If they spend the money.
If they spend the money, because that's the thing. I don't. Again, as much as Arsenal are useless in the transfer market, I don't think Tottenham are that. Yeah, they're not that much better. Like obviously they've had some shrewd signings with your Alderweireld and all that, but when they had the money, for example with Bell, they bought. I think all 7 of them. I think only Lamella's still there.
Yeah. Ericsson was the best one, done the best, but Lamella's the only one still there. Soldado, was that defender that Chiriches? I think Capoue, Etienne Capoue.
Is that Villarreal, isn't it? Capoue.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else, but I know Lamella's still the only one there.
Yeah, so I don't think they're any better. So as I said, if Poch goes back, then he's stupid. But I think Kane is leaving anyway. I think Kane goes.
I'm still not sure because I still think Man City are the only option.
But I'm hearing PSG as well.
Mate, the guy can't speak English.
Yeah,
chance he got over there.
I was just having a quick look at the bloody odds on this Celtic job, and Ange Postecoglou is the
I saw that.
Favourite.
Okay, is that I read that Celtic was basically agreed with someone. I just never heard of him and assumed they were Greek.
Yeah, he manages in the J League.
Well, the name sounds Greek, but Tez is naming him as an Aussie. So
he's an Aussie, but he's born and bred here.
Oh, hold on. Let me double check this out.
He's an Aussie. he coached the Socceroos as well. He started all his coaching here in Australia first. I think it was Brisbane Roar. He won a couple of comps with. He went to Melbourne Victory, I think. I'm going to get shot here because I don't follow the fucking.
This guy don't look like an Aussie, mate.
What if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck? It's got to be a fucking duck, is it?
Look! I put his name in here. It says Greek Australian footballer. Greek first.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's funny how we thought there'd be like a big player merry-go-round, and the manager one seems to be happening first.
Yeah.
Which no one really saw.
Fucking great.
But I guess in a Euros year or a World Cup year, it's a lot easier to do deals with managers. Players are quite difficult. I saw a stat yesterday that in years with summer tournaments, the transfer market is something like 30% down because they miss basically a month of the window. In general, like you'll get 1 or 2 deals done, but in general, a month of the window is missed. Whereas obviously managers, especially if they're coming from another club side or they're out of work, you don't have that disruption.
I noticed a lot of seems almost like clubs are going to try and get their business done before the Euros at this rate. Like, just
I don't know. I mean, you look.
Rumours keep coming out. Like, I know
but that's because the press have got nothing to write about.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Liverpool got Konate, but that was done ages ago. They just
Yep.
announced it the other day. But you look at, say, United, I think Sancho will end up there, or Chelsea. That won't get done till after the Euros. Chelsea have been linked ridiculously strongly with Lukaku. That, if it gets done, won't be done till after the Euros. Haaland maybe can go somewhere if he does go, because he doesn't have Euros.
We were linked to Lukaku at one stage too. I don't know whether that was still happening, but I doubt that'll happen. But because Inter want big money for him, they got to get rid of some players, Inter. So you won't get them. I don't think you'll get them cheap, but they have to get rid of them. And everybody knows that they're in the shit. And I don't know how they're in the shit financially, really. Like, I know that Chinese. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but like the Chinese bloke, he ain't some bloke got millions in the bank. This bloke's a fucking billionaire.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he wants to spend it. It's like I read today, and I don't know if it's true, that they brought Lukaku on an installments, which every transfer is done, even though Arsenal were the only one that get hammered for it. But as part of the contract, if they missed one payment, they had to pay the whole thing. So say it was 8 million a year, but if they missed it 1 year, then they just had to pay the rest of the transfer. And they missed the payment the other day. So now they have to repay, I think it's 42 million. So they essentially have to sell him.
Yeah, they missed wages too, apparently, didn't they?
Yeah, half their squad haven't been paid. Yeah, I think in terms of transfers, I think the players that are not going to the Euros, so Hakimi will probably be sorted somewhere pretty quickly. It seemed like PSG was all but done, but there's reports that's fallen through. But he's not got anything this summer, so I assume that will get done quite rapidly. But yes, I think players at the Euros, when I don't personally think we're going to see much until after. You think they start in what, 10 days?
In 10
not
days,
even.
Yeah.
I think England's game's in 10 days. I think the first game's 2 days before that. So I think it's next Friday, and we're Wednesday basically now. So yeah, let's say 10 days. I'd be very surprised if anything gets done before then. Like, as I said, with players that are at the tournament. What does make it easier? Because I know in the past, teams have gone and done medicals at the country's like international base and stuff. What does make it easier for a Premier League team is pretty much most of the tournaments in England anyway. And if it's not, it's in Spain, it's local. Like, you don't have to go fucking chasing people around Russia like the last World Cup, or Japan and South Korea, or Brazil. So I think it's a little bit easier to do deals than normal, but I still don't expect much to happen until the Euros are over. There might be agreements made, but then obviously medicals, formalisation, contracts and whatnot won't be done till after.
Won't be done after. Yeah. Well, we might head off, and we will be back. Well, 10 days, so not next week, probably the week after, just before the Euros start. I'll have a look.
We might as well do predictions for that.
Yeah, we might as well. Well, do you want to come back next week and do our predictions for the Euros, or you want to miss a week?
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it this time next week, because the tournaments start 3 days after that. So
I would say that as well, because we got all the teams confirmed as well, because England got confirmed today.
I think they've all been confirmed today.
So everything's all confirmed now. So
put your reading glasses on, boys. Have a look at the groups. Have a look at team news and things.
Group of death, mate. That's the one. That's going to be the.
Which one are you calling the group of death?
Oh, mate, the last group.
Group F. Yeah, Portugal, Germany, France, Hungary.
All three of the teams that aren't Hungary will go through.
Yeah. I reckon Group D is the group of death. Just quickly, but anyway.
What is Group D?
Croatia, Czech Republic, England, and Scotland. I reckon you boys are fucking screwed.
Imagine if the Scots
Scotland will win that group. Czech Republic, Croatia second. Fuck! I tell you what, you boys, you won't even. If England go out of that group, that'll be the end of the podcast of the Euros. You boys
No.
won't want to come on.
Oh,
No, I mean
what-
it gives me Southgate propaganda because I think the guy's a horrendous manager.
Oh, I
Um,
was going to ask you what do you guys actually rate him as your national
No,
manager?
he's an absolute
No.
joke.
Does anybody?
No,
the
The FA.
Yeah, okay.
It was just like the under-21s manager, AD Boothroyd.
Eddie Boothroyd. Yeah.
Yeah, pants.
Did
And
so? What he accomplished in the World Cup, you just weren't happy with? Like you thought you could
Luck.
go on?
mate, luck. And you know the euphoria and then just the momentum. That's what got them there. But to be fair, they had the easiest route.
You'll never get a draw like that in the World Cup again.
Yeah,
Never.
I know.
We
It
got to
was a good
semis.
draw.
We only played one team, and that was in the group in a dead rubber. We played Belgium in the group in a dead rubber. Beyond that, we should have got to the final with playing nobody.
Who
Like,
knocked us out again?
huh?
France. France knocked us,
Croatia.
didn't they?
No,
Oh,
no,
Croatia.
Croatia, extra
Right.
time. That's what I mean. We played. The group was Algeria, not Costa Rica. Who was it?
Yeah.
Honduras,
Was it not
someone like that.
Honduras or Panama? Was it Panama?
Panama.
I think.
Yeah, I mean that's not even a country.
Yeah.
Panama, and then Belgium, but Belgium was a dead
Yeah.
rubber because we won the 2 games already. So we lost that, but we did play a reserve team. So did they. And then you got Colombia, who it was a good game, but it shouldn't be really. Sweden, who was shit, and then semi-final.
Semi-final, mate.
You'll never ever get a draw like that again. This Euro, in all fairness to Southgate, this Euro is actually a lot harder to win than the World Cup was because the draw is so condensed.
Well, the other one we'll do. So look, we're going to obviously, I'm going to go through some questions with you boys in the Euros. You know, favourites, underdogs, dark horses, things like that. We'll also touch on the Copa America because I'll also be tuning in
yeah.
to that. So you know, there's
Move to Brazil now.
it's now, it's now moved
that been
to Brazil.
Confirmed.
Well, I seen it
'Cause
yesterday. Yeah.
So yesterday it was like all the official announcements were saying it had been moved to Brazil because the COVID case was too bad wherever it was meant to be held. It was joint between Argentina and somewhere, I think. But either way, it was said it was meant to be moved there, and then the Brazil health minister came out this morning, my time, and was like, "We haven't agreed to host it."
Oh, okay.
But all the press was like, last night about this time yesterday.
Yeah, that's
was
what
like,
I got.
yeah,
About this
it's
time
done. It's
yesterday.
going to Brazil.
Yeah.
But some government. But you never know because obviously I don't know how government works in other countries, and it might have been just some minor guy who was just trying to be famous. Because when I've been looking at holidays to Indonesia, and there's a different governor that comes out every day and says some different rules, but then you look into it and it's just they're absolute nobodies. But like I don't know, the government's cleaner or something. So I don't know if this Brazil guy is actually anyone official, but yeah, I read today that they said they haven't agreed to host it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Like I suppose Argentina. I haven't looked at odds or anything, but I did. So I've seen a few people talking Argentina.
Is Messi going?
With Messi? I think.
Yeah, Messi.
Because they'll bring Messi and Aguero together again, and then they'll continue with Barcelona. But
my money's on Brazil.
Money's on Brazil.
Money's on Brazil.
It's hard with them because I think the last one Brazil won, but they took quite a weak team. Messi retires every time they lose, so you never know who's actually going to bother to play. Like Colombia have not taken James. He missed Everton's last 2 games, so he could be fit for Colombia, and then they didn't pick him.
Well, didn't Chile win it? I think
they done 2 in a row on penalties. Yeah, they won 2 in a row on penalties, but that squad was their golden generation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. What squad have they got now too? Like
a lot of the same players, but they're just like Vidal, Alexis, are not the Vidal and Alexis they were. Yeah, I mean, look, the safe bet or the obvious bet is depending on the draw, Brazil and Argentina as the 2 teams, but you just never know. I remember it was only a couple of years ago where Brazil won it, and I think that Everton Suarez got the golden boot or the best player. As I said, their squad was really like a bit like Brazil. Really, is that your players?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's shit, but I think Firmino was like starting every game, and that's not a Brazil number 9. Like, so it's hard to know. Like, I don't know if Neymar's going or he's shagging his sister instead.
Yeah, nice. Well, they've got the two groups. 4 teams go through each group, and so majority will go through.
I actually
Paraguay.
like their format of
It's not a bad
competition and
format.
qualifying.
Yeah.
World Cup qualifying, or for them, is mad. Like,
Yeah,
the
like
way
in
they
the
do it.
league table.
League, everyone
Yeah.
plays everyone, but they've got some mad. What's that team? Who is it? Is it Bolivia that they basically play on top of a mountain and you can't breathe there?
Yeah.
Like, they just haven't
Oh,
lost at
yeah,
home
yeah.
for about 3,000 years, but then they lose to everyone away. Like, it's insane. Like, because they're so yeah. I mean, it works well. Obviously, you couldn't do that everywhere, but
Yeah.
I like their system, and it's like, yeah, we don't care if you can't breathe. Come play football.
So we'll keep tabs on that little comp as well. Is there any other that I'm missing? Thought there
As
was
well, the Olympics football, and Gabby's going to be there. I'm not. Is Gabrielle as well? I know Gabby. I saw a picture today of Gabby going to the training camp.
The African one's not on, is it?
No,
it's January.
That's in January.
Okay. They have a different time, yeah.
No, but the Olympics, I'm not even sure what countries qualified. Who bothered? But I said I know Martinelli's gone, and I don't. Gabrielle would qualify, I guess. So I don't know if he's gone.
I don't even know if it's gonna go on now.
When's that kick off? When's that Olympics happen?
July, I think.
July. Because I've seen
But
nothing
then
about it.
Japan are still under. I think they went under like a severe COVID lockdown or extreme lockdown again because of cases.
I know they said that they would host it without fans, and all athletes would get both doses of the vaccination. But I don't know if they're now being an extra lockdown or whatever's changed that, but that was the plans.
Yeah, I think they were saying that they've done this to see if they can get it down, to see if they can actually do it this year. Because a lot of teams were saying that they should delay it again.
There's no chance they'll delay it again. They'll just take it off Japan and move it to whoever's got it next, and that they'll lose so much money that I'd imagine it will go ahead. I was speaking to some of the badminton players the other day, and they're basically set for it going ahead. There was no, I've not heard of this extra lockdown, but there was no doubt in their mind that the Olympics will be played this summer.
So bring it to England.
Huh?
So they should bring it to England.
That's our answer for everything, isn't it? We're the worst nation we're the most stuck-up nation on earth. Anytime anyone else is in trouble, just do it in England.
Just bring it to Australia.
Because we still got all our things. Everything's still intact. That's
Australia and New Zealand, mate. We're pumping. We're cruising,
mate. Yeah, you lot are not gonna. You lot don't want to bring.
You won't let people in.
We won't let you fuckers in.
Yeah, that's the problem. In England, we let everyone in. You got COVID? Yeah, come in. Don't worry, it's all good.
No. Lock it out.
What new variant? Cool, no problem. Bring it in.
We'll just throw our field out there in the middle of the desert and let you all go out there. That'll be easy.
The Mouse Olympics. Don't worry.
Boys, we've been talking gibberish since we finished the show 20 minutes ago. But yeah, we'll come back next week and we'll do our predictions for Euros. We'll touch on the Copa America and bring it on. That's the end of that season for Arsenal. And then we'll get back in we'll touch on some, if there is transfer news, we'll obviously touch on that throughout the Euro shows as well. So, okay, boys, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for all your support, you patrons as well. And cheerio, and see you next week. Bye, boys.